What's up guys, Austin Dunham back again with another video. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever been stuck on a given rep on an exercise and you just can't seem to progress any further? Well, today I'm going to give you 3 simple tips on how you can potentially increase your reps on a given exercise and thus potentially increase your overall strength gains. Now these 3 tips are often overlooked by many, but they are very useful. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first tip that I have for you to increase your reps on a given exercise is to simply listen to music. Now, I know a lot of people already do this, but you gotta remember the fact it's not just any type of music. You gotta listen to aggressive, heavy music that'll get your adrenaline pumping. For me, I just discovered this, that I get really pumped up when I listen to rock music, right? And so, for example, if you ever heard of the song Headstrong by, I think it was Tapped, that song really gets an extra adrenaline rush from me, and I'm usually able to get like an extra 1 or 2 reps out just by listening to that song. Now usually I listen to like rap, hip-hop, R&B music when I'm working out, but I've discovered that that just doesn't work out for me. So when you're listening to music when you're working out, don't listen for the pleasure of the music. Find music that'll make you more aggressive, that'll get your adrenaline pumping, so that when you're working out, you're getting, so for example, let's say you're doing push-ups and you're working out, you're doing these push-ups, and if you're getting stuck at that one last one and you feel like you're about to fail, that music with the drums playing and the beat pumping and all that crazy stuff will help you push out those extra reps. And we all know that the last few reps will make you stronger, right? So that's the first tip. All right, the next tip in order to increase your reps on a given exercise is a very often overlooked tip also. And this is one of the things that we all learn when we first start weightlifting or doing any type of training, right? So this is controlling your breathing. Now usually when you're doing an exercise, you don't want to hold your breath, you don't want to take short gaspy breaths, because that's not going to provide the amount of oxygen to your muscles that you need in order to perform a given rep. So what you want to do, and while you're working out, you want to think about this too, right? So what you want to do is, let's for example say you're doing pull-ups now. So usually when you're doing an exercise, you might not think about your breathing. You might just go up, down, up, down, up, down, and sometimes holding your breath, not even knowing it. Well, this is hindering you from pushing out those extra reps. So let me show you what you should do. So on a pull-up, for example, when you're coming into the contraction of a movement, this is when you want to breathe out. So contraction, breathe out. So a pull-up, when I'm coming out, when I'm coming up, I'm breathing out, and when I'm coming back down, when the tension is being released, that's when I'm breathing in. Right? So for example, let's do another exercise, let's say dips. So starting at the top of a dip, when you're coming down, you want to be breathing out, just find a breathing pattern that works for you overall, because if you focus on your breathing, you'll notice that you'll be able to last longer and you'll be able to push out more reps. Now, I have a problem with this too sometimes when I do L-sits. You know, when we're doing back levers, L-sits, or any type of ab exercise, we have a tendency to hold our breaths, which in turn makes us last a short amount of time. So what I've been practicing doing, and I'm following my own advice here, is while doing L-sits, I'm controlling my breathing in rhythmic patterns. So let's say I'm doing an L-sit, I'll do in 2, out 2. And I noticed that while doing this breathing pattern, I was able to hold my L-sit longer. Let's move on to the last tip in order to increase your reps. Alright, the last tip in order to increase your reps on a given exercise is a pretty unique tip that you probably wouldn't have thought of. Or maybe you do it without even thinking. Alright, so this tip is kind of different. So let's say you're doing an exercise, right? Notice what you're looking at or what you're focusing on when you're doing an exercise. Like, I've seen people bench press before. While they're bench pressing, they're looking at the weights going up and down. When they're doing push-ups, they're looking around. You know, they seem kind of distracted while they're working out. So here's the tip. What I want you to do is, when you're doing a given set of an exercise, focus on one point, wherever it may be. All right, for example, again, let's say that I'm doing push-ups again. Let's say I'm doing push-ups. So as I'm doing a set of push-ups or whatever, let's say I'm doing one-arm push-ups. Let's say I'm doing one-arm push-ups, right? As I'm doing a set of push-ups, I'm going to find a focal point on the ground, in the sky, wherever comfortable where I can look at during that whole entire set. And you notice if you set a focal point and you focus hard on whatever that point is, you'll increase your reps and you'll be able to do more reps, thus in turn make you stronger. It's a weird tip and you just gotta try it out and see, but it really does work. So once again, just to recap, when you're doing that exercise, find a focal point wherever it may be. It could be on the ground, it could be a piece of hair on the floor. It really doesn't matter. Just find something to focus on, and while you're doing that exercise, focus on that point, and you'll notice that you'll be able to do more reps. All right, as a whole entire video recap for the 3 tips, the first tip is you want to listen to aggressive music that'll get your adrenaline going. And the second tip is that you want to control your breathing when doing an exercise. And the last tip, like I said, is that you want to find a focal point, wherever that may be on the ground or wherever, and focus on that during the whole entire set. All right, that's pretty much it. Please go try out these tips and let me know if they worked for you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll be back for more videos. All right, stay tuned guys, and I'll be back soon. Peace.